Aruba is so much more than just warm white sandy beaches, palm trees, and clear turquoise water. And if you've been following along on our adventures, you're most likely already well aware of this. Speaking of adventures, next on our list to explore is Aruba's beautiful nature and wildlife. To start things off, we are placing a spotlight on our island's national symbol, Aruba's burrowing owl, the Shoko. We are here to give you an up-close look at these adorable little creatures, and most importantly, to raise awareness on how we can all help to protect them. We decided to meet up with an expert in this field, a research and conservation manager of the Aruba National Park Foundation, to give us better insight on all there is to know about the Shoko. So come along and join us on our adventure. You may just learn something interesting along the way.
Bom dia, my name is Giancarlo Nunes. I am the Research and Conservation Manager at Parque Nacional Aruba. My job consists out of understanding nature, studying nature, finding out, discovering the wonders of the natural world of Aruba, and then finding out what are the threats facing these natural wonders and what we can do as human beings to minimize our impact on our wildlife, on our flora and fauna, and how to make it even better for the future. The Shoko is an endemic subspecies for Aruba. It's an endemic burrowing owl. And burrowing owls are a type of owl that can dig underground. That's why they're called burrowing owls. And they're endemic because this particular subspecies is only found on Aruba. You cannot find it anywhere else in the world. So if you want to see a Shoko, you have to come visit Aruba. The Shokos love open spaces. They usually prefer mudflats, open areas where there's sand that they can dig in because they're burrowing owls and they like to dig their own tunnels. They use these tunnels to nest in. And so they really need areas that have sand, soft sand that they can dig up, and those are also the best areas for them to hunt. So if there's a big open space and any prey item passes by, they can just swoop down and grab them. They typically lay up 5 eggs every nesting season. We don't know for sure yet how many nesting seasons they have, but we think it's around 2 nesting seasons every year. And depending on food availability, depending on how safe the area is, 0 to 5 chicks can end up reaching adulthood. We do consider Shokos endangered right now. In 1999 was the last national survey where they went to look for Shokos to see how many there are. And they found roughly 100 breeding pairs. Now 100 breeding pairs is not a lot. We have been talking to experts from the US who know a lot about these burrowing owls and population ecology. And they advised us that we need roughly around 250 to 300 breeding pairs to consider the Shoko to being a healthy Shoko population. So right now, with 1999 having 100 breeding pairs, now 20 years later with all the development that is happening on the island, we are considering them as an endangered species. There are different threats to these Shokos. One of them definitely is the loss of their natural habitat. There's a lot of construction happening on Aruba. Because the island is urbanizing really quickly, we use a lot of pesticides on this island. And these pesticides, they tend to poison the animals that Shokos eat. So while you're poisoning these animals we consider pests, we're also poisoning the food sources of these Shokos. We have discovered that one of their bottlenecks, so to say, for their populations is viable nesting areas. So what we tend to do is we create artificial nesting areas in places where these Shokos cannot dig tunnels themselves in order to provide them with some safe nesting capabilities. Shokos are very small birds. They are around 20 centimeters tall when they're standing. They're brown colored. They tend to blend in really well with these brown landscapes we have on the island. Shokos are active day and night. At night, they tend to hunt a bit more for the night animals, and during the day, they switch a bit between taking naps. A lot of owls don't have the yellow eyes, but if you see an owl species with yellow eyes, you know it's also active during the daytime. Their prey items can vary quite a bit. They're very versatile, adaptive animals. So Shokos are very territorial birds. They have this area that they protect because that's their hunting ground, that's their food source. Their whole life depends on that. And it's always centered around a burrow, the burrow that they dig up themselves. So the male digs out the burrow and then tries to attract a female to this burrow. And once he's successful in attracting a female, they will begin nesting. And as long as the nesting goes well, these pairs will stay together for their entire life. They are monogamous as long as everything is going well. Most Shoko predators are all human-related animals. So cats and dogs that are on the street, that are in the wild areas, they tend to hunt these Shokos quite a bit. Boas are also very good at hunting Shokos and many other animals. And those are the main top predators, all these human-introduced animals that end up in the wild. One very cool thing about Shokos is they're very vocal animals, and once you get to know them a little bit, you will notice that they have different calls. They have a certain call they make to let their babies know that there are predators in the area. They have other calls they make just to let each other know that they're around and they care for one another. They have other calls to let each other know they're angry, and so on and so on. Shokos are very wild animals. They are not good to keep as pets. If anyone out there thinking, oh, these are adorable, I want to put them in a cage, please don't. Shokos are very special to Aruba. They are a national symbol of this island, just like the flag, just like the anthem of this island. So they are very dear to us Arubans. And they are in danger, and they do need our help and our attention. We've been working tirelessly day and night trying to conserve these animals, protecting their nests in the wild. So please, when you're on natural areas, pay attention. Don't go driving anywhere, especially don't drive fast in nature areas. Stay out of the sand dunes, white beaches areas, because Shoko do tend to go in these areas as well. For example, the California Lighthouse, don't go driving in those sand dunes. The area next to the California Lighthouse, a beautiful mud flat that people like to go off-roading and racing in this area. This area used to have at least 20 Shoko families in the past. Now they're only down to 2. So we need to be conscious that when you're on Aruba and when you go into nature areas, be behaved and be gentle to the area, drive slowly, don't drive all over the place, stick to designated roads, and please pay attention, because we have a lot of other animals on this island as well that are very special to us, and we hope to preserve them for future generations to come.